Hi, welcome to Lilstock. So this is the venue guide for today. First of all, we're going to start in the car park. So main reason being, one, it's free parking, which is good. It's a fair size, you can get a good few motors in here, so I've never come down here and not been able to get in. But the track in is not exactly friendly. So if you're precious about your car or it's lowered, don't come down here. If it's a sports number and it's low to the ground, you're going to have problems. So this is still quite a friendly part, but there's parts down there on this track which is quite long as well, and it looks like the surface of the moon. There's lots of craters everywhere. Sometimes it gets real sludgy, and some parts are like, if you've ever done scramble biking or anything like that on a bike track, it's like the whoops. So be warned. I come down, like I say, in the Mondeo. It comes down all right. I just trundle along it in first gear most of it. There's a nice little flat bit where I get up to get to second, but other than that, it's a first gear job. So be warned. If you've got something like my old TD5 or something, you'll fly down it, no problem at all. But yeah, so like I say, clearance isn't massive on the car, but it gets down all right. So anyway, this is the track to the beach. The joy of this beach is it's literally just a very short walk. Like I say, it's free parking. There's litter bins in the car park, so you don't have to leave your litter on the beach. The only downside is there's no toilets or facilities here at all. But then there's that few people about. I'm sure somebody's not going to moan you taking about a cheeky pee in the side somewhere. Plenty of places to hide away. Anyway, this is a track down to the beach. Lilstock. So this beach can throw up some very special fish and has done in the past. And it's a really good mark, but it's also a mark that can be a real pain in the bum. I find you turn into zero or hero on this beach pretty much. I prefer large neap tides and large spring tides. Not everybody likes the large spring tides here. There is a hell of a pull. I use thick wire, long tail, 7-ounce grips, and they hold fine. I don't have a problem with it. Generally speaking, people fish it over low tide. So it's 2 hours down, then 2 hours back. I also fish it at high tide, but to fish it at high tide, you're going to need a good cast. When I say a good cast, you're going to want over 100, depending where you are on the beach. So we'll get down there and find out. All baits pretty much work well up here. During the winter, it's a good mark for cod. If you fancy a specimen thornback ray, you'll get these up here. I had a surprising blonde ray up here. I've never really seen them this far up, but they are here, just not in large numbers. But yeah, you'll definitely get decent flat rats up here. So when fishing at high tide, make sure you use heavy sinkers, because basically if it pulls it to the side, it's going to pull it into all the stone, okay, and then you're going to be snagged up. But as long as you weigh it down, you're doing all right. Sixes don't generally hold it on large springs. It has to be sort of 7 ounces. So over low tide, you're fishing out onto sand and mud, and then it's easy going. Like I say, the tide's still got to go out a little bit, but first of all, we're going for a little walk to the right, which is, if you want a nice special thorny, we're talking double figure thornies, this is the place to come really. So I recommended a little while back to somebody to come up here, and they caught a thorny straight off when they were failing elsewhere with other people's advice. So anyway, this is known as the pipeline just here. This is the first mark, as it were. We're going to do one to the right and one to the left as well, so there's 3 bits that I fish here. First one is the pipeline. You can fish just down in front of it, just to the left or right of it, You'll have seen Graham on Totally Awesome Fishing Show. He was fishing here at one point, and he was fishing right in front of the pipeline down there. You quite often find line snags and that, so if you can clear up, great. But anyway, let's go to the right. Down here, this is where I find it's more productive, if I'm honest. There's like a little bay here. You got Hinkley Point just over there. It really is close. If they've got any drilling works going on outside that platform, forget about any fish. It literally goes dead. There is nothing. It's like fishing a stock pond that hasn't been stocked. You don't even get nibbles. But other than that, if there's not a drilling platform there, then definitely get down there. It's worthwhile. So if you've got a good cast, like I say, fish any state of tide. If your casting's not over 100, 2 hours down to low, 2 hours back, and you should be pretty sound. After that, the tide's going to start dragging your gear and you're going to need to cast further out to keep it off the stones. So, what else can you get down here? Apart from specimen thornback, you can get nice bass down this bit as well. I've had quite a few bass down here around the sort of £5 mark. I haven't had any large bass, but I've had sort of 3 or 4 on the hit of £5. So they're of a good size and in number. But, as the path grows up, it can be a bit of a pain. But as more and more people come through, it will wear down again. So you can fish anywhere along here. Like, try it for yourself. These are just 3 marks that I recommend. And I've tried other spots. I've come out with fish. I'm not saying you won't get them there, but generally speaking, these are the best spots. Bit of a strong wind coming off onto the shore today from the sea. If you're into fossils, you can get some stonkers up there. Get some really big ones, ammonites and stuff like that. So here we are, onto the stony bank. And that's where we're heading, just over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off for a few minutes and then I'll turn it all back on once we're over there. We'll get down on the beach and you'll see what you can do. All right. Okay, so here we are. We started off past that stone pile over there. For the average person of sort of average fitness, take you about 5 minutes to walk this. It's not far. So the reason I do this, I come to the end here and then I stop pretty much. I fish out over here. I do sometimes push it a bit further around, but that's a low tide session. With the cliffs over there, the cliffs do come down. As for that, there's a recent fall over there, right in front of the middle of the camera. And a few more scree slides there as well. So the water does come all the way up to the edge here. You can see the defining line. And it goes along and it will come up to the cliff edges. So if you're fishing over low, you'll be fine over this little bit of reef here. Other than that, don't push it. Okay, if you're a few yards past this and you know you're going to make it back, you'll be all right. But generally speaking, if I'm here for like a whole session, I set up on the end of this spit and then put the shelter up to maximize the stop the wind and whatnot. You've got trees here and everything as well, but it's a nice little bay here. You can just tuck in, stay out of the way, and you've got a little bit of reef down there. There's a bit of weed, but it's not too bad. It's generally fixed down. You don't have to stress too much, but I always fish Lilstock heavy anyway. So with that, let's go down onto the beach. So the joy is with this, you can fish on sand for a lot longer for a start. And it's often overlooked. So many years ago when I came down here, everyone always said fish left of the pipe, fish left of the pipe, which is an alright spot, there's nothing wrong with it at all. But on Google Maps, Google Earth, whatever it was, I had a look, I saw this, came around there and started catching some really nice thornies. I thought, hello. So yeah, not to be sniffed at, this one. I do like fishing this, the only problem is there's always blasted wind here. Real pain in the bum. So okay, the sea up here is always like a Willy Wonka's chocolate river. It's never clear, and you get a fair bit of clay mixed in with the stones and the reef system, so you want to come down with like sort of welly gogs on and whatnot, you know. So anyway, this is where the reef system starts. This is all reef here, it's not clay, it's like slaty type stuff. You've got large boulders. When I say large boulders, that's my foot size 10. So, but as you can see, there's lots of limpets and stuff here. I find if you use shellfish for a bait, you do quite well as well. Pick up different species. So we're on to sand. As you can see from all the ripples and stuff, there's a fair bit of current pull here, even here. It runs from right to left generally, and then again, it's just more of the same out there. It's just like mixed in reef stuff. Some of the sand sinks a little bit where there's clay underneath it. Sorry, I'm just trying to shield the microphone from the wind. So that's like pure clay over there, you'll sink into that. But anyway, yeah, come down here with wellies, fish it like from now, 2 down, 2 up. If you're comfortable with long range casting, just stick a rotten bottom on, cast it out over here. Generally speaking, you do get it back, it's not too bad. But when you're fishing at low, you'll be fishing out onto sand and mud and clay. So like I say, it's really good for a specimen thornback here. You get some bass cruising along as well, not all the time, but when they are here, they're here. Oh, a bit slippy as well. Don't really have the right boots on for this, but never mind. So we're just going to go over here. I'm just going to show you the sandy flats. Got all the reef marks just here, and then what I like to do is fish on the edge of the stone and reef into the sand flats over here. Sometimes they fill up with clay, so just beware. You can see traces of it here where it's light and whatnot. Sink into that stuff really well. Never gone past my ankles, but just beware. As you're a bit out of the way, it'll be a bit of a pain for a rescue. Got that wind right in the face at the moment, sorry guys. Right, so here we are. Okay, with these sandy flats, you'll find quite a few sort of rock pools, water running through it, and it's water running down the beach. It's coming off the hills. It's not as bad in the summer. It's not too bad now. It doesn't stop the fish coming anyway. So you got nice sand flats, and here is perfect for thornback rays. It's absolutely brilliant. Also, if I was coming for a large winter cod, this is one of the venues I will visit. The only problem is with the winter winds, sometimes this mark can be a bit of a nightmare, so you've got to be super careful. Okay, so we'll take a little walk back up the beach. As you see, there are bands of weed, but it's not horrendous. I absolutely hate weed, so if I don't mind fishing it, it's not that bad. Weed can make me proper stroppy. So okay, so top of the beach, like I say, you can fish it back more than a couple of hours here. I'm just saying fish it back for a couple of hours for safety. Okay, you could probably fish it up to nearly almost high If it's a large spring, don't try that, you'll be caught out. But it's only a, what's that, 70-yard hop over to the end of the bank over there. So, as you can see, it's a bit weedy here, but it's a great feeding line at the beginning of the beach, and this is where I pick up my bass. It's the deepest part of the beach. It goes down there, and it's more of a sort of, it's a tunnel, it comes down both sides. So fishing that, and you generally don't go wrong, but obviously that's coming up higher water. So okay, with that being done, I'm gonna turn it off, hop back onto the path, and then we're gonna go see the other bits. But I'm gonna have to wait half an hour because I was a little bit too eager, got here far too soon, and water hasn't disappeared enough yet. Clever boy. Alright, okay, I'm gonna cut off and we'll restart in a half hour or so. So we're back where we started. We're now going to head out to the left, and we're going to do the centre bit last. Hopefully by the time we've walked down here and done this, the tide will be showing the sand and the mud down here. So I'd say it's not far along here. It's nice even ground. It's gravel filled. It can get a bit wet and hold puddles in the winter, but generally speaking it's not heavy going. Although that wind today that's right pain in the bum. Just hope it's staying off the mic for you guys. I apologise if there is any wind blow. I've got a dead cat on it. I've got it hidden under my t-shirt. The wind on the Bristol Channel is nothing but a pain in the bum. So, in the distance, I'm sure you'll see it, the very fishy looking grounds. That's where we're heading. And old bunker there. So you basically just want to keep walking along this path. You come to all these old rusty gabions that had stone in them. So, and the bit we're fishing over here, you want low water. Again, it's 2 hours down, 2 hours back. You can fish it over high, but you're going to want to fish it with a rotten bottom, because if you miscast and you don't land on the sort of gravelly or sandy patches that are there, then chances are you won't be seeing your gear again. Probably get your lead back if you're reasonably accurate with your casting, sort of 8 out of 10 times. Or sometimes what I do is I just fish super heavy and then just pull it out a lot of the time. So we're not going in front of the cliffs, because like I say, if you want to go that way, that's up to you, but the tide does come in at record pace. It can catch you out if you're not careful, especially if the wind blows certain times. It'll reduce your time on the beach by up to an hour. So that's why I don't go a bit further on. Over that way, if you keep going, you've got Kilve, of which we're going to go and maybe do next week, we shall see. And so the stones become a little bit more of a pain here. You can climb over these rocks, but generally speaking, you'll drop down onto the beach beforehand to make your life a little easier. I'm lazy because I don't want to walk over all the stones on the beach. I'm just going to walk up here and then climb down them. So while we're up here, the other reason I'm up here is so you get a good view of everything that's going here. So if you limit yourself to the pipeline, I think you limit yourself a lot. So much more sort of mixed terrain out here, and the reef system is a lot better. So, okay, you've got all of these wooden spikes in front of you. So if you're bringing in fish and the tide's not quite high enough, you really want to be sort of bringing them around to the left where it's all lower, okay? You bring them in over this side, your lead will catch it, the fish will catch it, and all of a sudden you're hung up and you're going to lose it, okay? But out in front of you, that broken ground that's there, it comes along, I say, and it goes into reef. You can see a nice big pool out there. Again, that's all reef system, and as you can see, that's where the rings that you can see on Google Earth are, where all, oh, got my watch caught up, where all the ridges are. So on Google Earth they look like horseshoes, or look like a rainbow would, sort of like they're arched. Fishing anywhere along here, like I say, if you're fishing up past high tide, you need to be careful because you will get caught out by the cliff. You have to climb back over these stones to get up. Okay, you can fish just down there. It's only sort of 20 yards to the end of the stone, so you'd be quite safe there still. With that said, fish out onto that, it can be quite good. Again, you pick up thornbacks, you pick up good conger. Actually, you can get some really nice congers along here. Up to, I've seen them come out, what was it Jason had? I think Jason had a 22 pound or 21, 22 pound conger, something like that, when I was fishing with him. And on the same session I had a 12. So they are here. If you like conger bashing, it's definitely a good mark for it. Then, like I say, you can see here. So what I generally tend to do is I set up against the boulder face, literally just down here. It's perfect for a tent, not that you really need one. And then I cast out diagonally to the left. I say, generally speaking, there's never anybody here. The only thing is, if you're going to fish this at high tide, you want the water in early, because there's ridges, which we're just about to go down there and have a look at with the boulders, where the water's coursed in and whatnot. It's created a few ridges. So let's just climb down. There we go. Okay. So the bit everyone likes, let's go have a look at the grounds. Okay. So these are the big wooden spikes. Not sure what it was from. Obviously ancient. I say ancient, just old days stuff. I know there was lime kilns up there. I think there was also shale fracking, if I remember rightly. Don't hold me to that. Maybe somebody out there knows better and could put a comment and let me know. That'd be great. I've seen old slipways and stuff like that over there. So anyway, let's get down low in a second, just show you these ridges. So as you're bringing in fish, the only reason I tell you is because I've fallen foul of it. It's a pain in the bum. And you won't be coming into the water when it's coming in. One, because the waves are generally pretty heavy here, and two, it's slippery as you like. So as you can see, there's stone ridges, and there's 2 or 3 of them, and it goes down. Once you get a few feet of water over them, they're not really a problem. But pulley rigs is the order here, or maybe a short trace running ledger. You don't want anything where the fish is too far behind, because if that lead drops and the fish hits this lot, it drops straight into the boulders. So there you go, you can see the ridges there. Especially if you get a conger on, they like to try and retreat into those. So unless you can bully them out. Generally speaking, when I come here and fish, I use my WR300. I don't like to leave anything to chance. So, okay, I set up just up there in that little sort of alcove just left of that signboard that you can see on the top. Okay, I set up there and I cast out onto here. As you can see, there's mixed clay, and it is clay. If I just, there you go, okay. And there's also sand. There's clay underneath the sand. Your feet will move and sometimes go through it. But this bit I find is really good. It holds fish. Reason being, I'm guessing, is because it's a big depression. The sides go up on all sides. Sorry about that wind. I know it's strong. Let's just walk over here a second. I say this Stone ridge here, probably the best put of 5 foot. I'm a little bit taller, I can just see over it at 6. So yeah, it's about 5 foot, and then I say it drops off again the other side. So if you're fishing in this cauldron, that's great. Overshoot it, sometimes you don't get your gear back. Be careful. So this is the bit that I cast the other rod onto. This is going the casting diagonally left. So there's a bit of weed here, but it's all attached to rocks. Generally speaking, it's not a problem. Just make sure your gear's heavy enough to come out. I tend to use a 70-pound hook trace, and I use a 100-pound rig body. I don't mess about out here. Right, this is all clay out here, so I'm not treading on that. But you can see the reef system over there. So it goes down to that pool. We'll walk along this bit of reef just to show you this. So in the pool itself, it's pretty weedy. So if you cast directly into it, don't be surprised if you're tugging to get it back. It gets heavier as you go down. Oh, as slippy as you like as well. So the clay's come over a bit further than normal, but it's breaching into here as well. It doesn't normally come over into this bit, it normally stays just here, but you'll see all these little ridges. Cast into that. Generally speaking, I use a 7-ounce flat lead. Again, one that I designed and my dad milled out the mould for and makes. And what I like about this lead is it's got a swivel both ends. It's a bit faster on one end. It's got the weight in the vein that goes down the back of it, but it sits flat on the clay. If you use bomb leads here, it can go into the clay when it's like shallower water, and then you kind of have to hold pressure on your rod to get the bugger back out, which can be a bit of a nightmare, but you don't get that with the flat leads. Like I say, I put the flat lead on the end of the rig body. I don't even put it on a slide or nothing, and then I literally attach the hook length to the other side of the lead, so it literally goes out as one. Anyway, if you carry on round that way, if you like fossil hunting, make sure the tide's out obviously. There's some great fossils to be found on these old seabeds. So there you go, you get nice little patches like this, you know. It's like a real mixed fine gravel stroke sand, and a bit of clay, bit of reef. It's great. You start moving weed about, you will find crabs. Not enough to collect, but crab is obviously a good bait here. I generally use fish baits here. Large squid baits work too. I don't have much luck on worm, but there you go. So anyway, this is to the left, and we're going to go back to the pipeline now so you can see that. Hopefully the tide will be out, and we'll have a good look at the ground down there. So we're just going down now. As you can see, the beach is a little bit like Bossington in some respects, with the cobbles underfoot. Got a bit of a slope down there by the pipe. Oh, there we go. I was saying about thornies. Looks like a dead one there. So a few of these do sort of roll underneath your feet a little bit, which can be a little bit annoying. So here we've got the pipe with the outlet. So the green weed down here is super slippy, so be aware. When it's sun-baked it's not so bad, but generally speaking I'll give it a miss regardless. Okay, so I don't think we're going to see much of the sands out in front today. It's quite a large low tide, which I forgot, but we'll go down anyway. So we've got big boulders that do start to roll a little bit underneath your feet. It starts to get a little bit like white mark, only not slippy. So okay, whoa, he says. Pay attention to the floor, not the camera. So if you miss at high tide and you cast wrong, this is tackle hungry, and you want a good 100-yard cast to get down here. Okay, so I quite enjoy fishing it at high tide. But every time I come down here I nearly always find tackle. So we can just see the beginning of where the boulders are starting to go onto the sand. You've got all the barnacle strewn rocks with the oysters about. So as you can see, the muddy water. What I can tell you is, in about from here to 10 yards out, it just goes out onto muddy sand. You can walk on it, it's solid. There's no snags out there, it's just a large expanse of sand, and it rises slightly up with a hump, ever so slightly, not masses. Obviously shellfish can be a good bait here, and you've got massive oysters all the way around here. They're just penny to a pound there. But anyway, this is the pipeline. I say you fish out onto sand, 2 hours down, 2 hours back. You want to set up here. Then there's nothing wrong here. Again, you can catch large conger, catch rays, in the winter time codling. But I think the key thing to take away from this is, if there's any platforms that are drilling outside of Hinkley Point, don't even bother coming. It's not worthwhile. You'll just literally drown bait. So this is Lilstock. Quick recap. To the right is my favourite spot. It goes into a little bay, fishing over reef, sand, weed, clay. And to the left is all reef. There is some bits of clay. Just beware fishing there. Should you venture beyond where I've shown, need to be super careful. The water does come in round behind you in the bays. Just beware. At night time you don't see it. And if you're not sure but you want nice comfortable quick fishing, come to this pipeline, which you see right at the end of the track as soon as you get onto the beach, and just basically fish down in front of it or just to the left of it. A lot of people have fished just there, which is 45 degrees left to the pipe, or just over on that next bit there. It's like another little head. They're perfectly safe to fish from, there's no problems at all, and they'll all produce fish. But, yeah, so low tide, 2 hours down, 2 hours back. If you're going to fish the high tide, you can go all the way up, but you want 7-ounce leads, and you want a good cast on you. So with that, thanks for watching. Please keep liking and sharing them. Gets me out there a bit more. The more I get out there, then the more I'll get out and do as well. As long as the incentive and the people are there to watch it, I'll keep doing them. So with that, I'm not sure, I might do Kilve next week, or might move into Devon, or maybe even Cornwall, depends, might mix it up a little bit. We'll see how the weather is. Anyway, this is Lilstock, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.